Today's video is gonna be kind of like a rant video, you know, when I spit facts and truth. Maybe. I don't know. I hope you find it entertaining. So, today's subject is tipping. And why is so trash the concept? Like gratuity, or wherever you want to call it, is one of the many shitty American USA ripoff inventions that are pissing me off, man. This disease is spreading throughout the global society and it needs to be stopped. There are some instances where I think tipping is acceptable, don't get me wrong, but generally I'm against it. Why am I against it? Because it turned from an optional reward to an expectation. And if you don't tip anything or don't tip an expected amount, then you get the side eye like, oh, you poor. He pours, but yeah, he poor. Like, no. Why are you judging me, man? I am poor. Honestly, I am sick of it. Like, what the hell? Don't you have a salary or something? Do you really live off my shitty tip? If those answers are yes, then we need to change the hell out of the current law right now. It is super depressing if you really think about it. Your salary to be so low that your survival is closely tied to what a customer is giving you. This reminds me of the Buddhist monks who are exchanging prayers and like chants in exchange for food or money. It's the same system if you think about it. And of course, we cannot blame the business. We all know that the restaurant business is super volatile and the profit margins are very low. This is where the government needs to step in. They're already taxing the hell out of us. And the people who work in the service industry are in there as well. If you have a friend in the service industry, ask him or her about like what their paycheck look like. Or better yet, search one on Google. There should be like people posting their paychecks there. See and look for how much the gross salary is and how much is divided between the taxes. And what the rest of the sum means is like the netto salary, with that basically means the salary that you actually receive and you get in your hand physically. It is super low. It remains almost nothing. Scraps for dogs that anyone in the 21st century, like, you cannot live with that. And that's why the tip, the gratuity, a form of payment, became essential for people working in this industry. But it shouldn't be like that. Come on! It should not! Look, like I said, here are some pro arguments for tipping, right? The circumstance where I tip the courier who brings food at home usually depends on the weather and how much time it took for the meal to arrive. If, like, for example, if it's raining outside and it arrived sooner than expected, then I generously tip because it is an exception. I don't usually tip that often. And yeah, it's raining outside. Nobody likes to go on rain and work, right? Or is it just me? Okay, just me. You do feel better when you tip, right? If the answer is no, then you're close to a saint, and I'll probably not believe you. Be honest with yourself. Rewarding someone with money is a very pleasing feeling for our monkey brain. You might feel good that you made someone's day by giving a healthy and generous tip. And that is not something I judge, but I also feel the same. Let's expand on that. If, let's say, you're in a restaurant, you might be inclined to tip or tip more money to waiters who tend to you and provide their attention to you and to make you feel like a king or a queen. That also happens to waiters who are dismissive or have bad attitude or really have a bad day. We all have those, right? Where we are groggy and we don't have the happy face on. You might be inclined to give those kind of people a lower tip, only based on the face mask that they put on when they meet you. Isn't that wrong? And that is the perfect segue to arguments against gratuity. It will create a weird societal hierarchy that shouldn't be. Be honest. You feel good when you give a hefty tip to someone who serves you food you ordered. Or you might feel bad you cannot give a good amount of tips and somehow feel judged, and that is an issue. The receiver of tips is also in the same boat. The person is ecstatic when he's receiving a nice amount of tips, or sad and even disappointed if that amount is not up to par to what is expected or imagined. Government cannot tax the money that is given as gratuity. No one in their right mind would report that to their tax agency. Why would you do that? The government is already taxing the hell out of you. Why should you report your tips as well? Basically, all the pro arguments can be considered as against gratuity as well. Bro, for me, it's a non-issue, but apparently for others, it is. Well, yeah, look, it's a sad reality we live in. In the gig economy, Uber, Bolt, Lyft, any food courier companies like Takeaway, Glovo, Uber Eats, wherever you have in your country, the delivery people are barely paid. Basically, their pay goes mostly to the government in form of taxes, which is stupid and bad. Maybe I'll rant about this in another video, but yeah, this is the reality. They will mostly live off of tips because that would be the biggest sum in their hand at the end of the month. And that is sad, yo. How can that be sad? That is sad. Also, please keep in mind that I was a part-time food courier. And even though I liked the experience overall, the pay was laughable and not worth it at all. I was part-time, 4 hours a day doing deliveries. If I had worked full-time, maybe it could have been worth it, but not really in my country, where we have a socialist system and the government basically taxes half of your whole salary. That's insane. In the US or other countries which have basically crony capitalism, it works. But not in all countries, so yeah. Anyway, I feel like I said enough about this subject. I hope you have an amazing day forward. Good